Football Game Plan is Talking Ball with the Czar, Emery Hunt, the Czar of the Playbook, here on the beautiful campus of Benedict College with head football coach Chennis. Coach, I appreciate you taking time. It's my first time not only at Benedict but in South Carolina. I've been impressed, number one, with how well you guys have just grown this program. Last time we talked, we were on the show. It was year one, going into year one for you as a head coach here at Benedict. Now, season is done, going into year two. What have you learned about your team? What have you learned about yourself? And what can we expect moving forward?
Tell you what, man, super excited to be here, man. What a great place. In the heart of Columbia, South Carolina, great location. Blessed to work at an unbelievable college, Benedict College, led by a great president and Dr. Rosalind Clark Artist. And, just grateful to be here, man. It's a really super place with super facilities, super people, man. And I'm just grateful to be the head football coach at Benedict. It's been a journey, man. Just being able to come in during the COVID year and to be able to transform our program in 1 year and turn into a team of respectability. And I'm super excited about the future with our football team, man. I think we got a chance to be really, really good. I'm just grateful to be the head football coach at Benedict College.
Now, you talked about growth in the program. Listen, walking around the stadium, this building here, the offices we're in, go and see the weight room, go and see the locker room. I have to say, it is legit on par with Division I athletics. What has been that part of it for you that says, man, I'm so glad I'm here at this time at this university because we're growing in the right direction?
Again, just grateful, man. Favor is not fair, man. And, we put God first in everything we do in this program, man. We really do. And we think that because of that, favor has been pouring into our program, man. But to be able to have state-of-the-art facilities, and everything starts with that. And it starts with a vision. I had a vision of what I wanted to look like based off the other college and universities I've been at, spending 7 years in the SWAC at Southern University and then spending 10 years in the MEAC. I know what it looks like in terms of building a great program. And it starts with facilities, man. You have to have great facilities because it comes down to recruiting. You got to have all the bells and whistles that some of the other schools may have to be able to at least compete. Because this generation of the young men that we deal with every day, they're going to visit different college campuses across the country, and we want to be able to have where our young men can feel comfortable about being a Benedict College Tiger. We put the BC at HBCU. We feel real good about our program, our location, our facilities, man, and we're just blessed to be able to have a state-of-the-art weight room, an unbelievable coach's office with meeting rooms, a great locker room, and we have a top 10 stadium in all of Division II football. So we market that, we sell that. And when recruits get a chance to come on campus, there's perception, then there's reality. Well, a lot of times, when they first come on the vision, they may say in their mind, I got to go visit Benedict today, and we're going to see what Benedict looks like. They kind of have like a mindset, but they don't really know what to expect, as opposed to when they leave here and see what we have to offer and the great people that we have and the facilities that we have and the program that we're building. They say, you know what, Coach, I didn't know it was this nice. But there's perception, there's reality. Just give us a chance, man. I think we got something to sell here at Benedict College.
Coach, going into your second year, you won your last two games. You guys were competitive all throughout the season, but the last two games you won. So you go into the offseason a winner, good momentum going into year two. What did you learn personally about yourself as a head coach, but also where did the it click for your team to help you close out the season that way?
Well, I'll tell you one thing that I learned about myself is patience. You have to be patient. We all want the microwave society. We want a quick fix. And we started off rolling, man. We come out the box 2-0, feeling really good, and then we dropped a couple in the middle. Then we end up finishing, like you say, with 2 wins. And, I learned to be patient. Things are going to come. Things don't happen overnight. And our young men started really, really believing in the program, believing in the vision. And you can see, the effort level picked up in practice. We can see the execution level picked up in practice. And in those last 2 games, we really, really played well as a football team because those guys started believing. And that's half the battle. You have to be able to build your team from the love that we pour into our young men every day. Our young men, a lot of times, they're raised in single homes, and when their coaches come into their lives, man, and be able to tell them and show them that we really, really love you and care about you, and we're in your life on the field, off the field, and then they start to feel that, then they start believing, then you start seeing a change in your program. And I think, for the most part, that's when you start really, really seeing the guys really click because they knew there was a genuine love not only from each other in the program, but from the coaching staff as well. And you start seeing those guys want to run through that wall for you, man. And we finished that thing off strong, was able to finish at 5-5 in year one. And I love where we are as a program, and I think we got a bright, bright future here at Benedict College.
First time I met you, you were at Southern.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw you, we spoke here, you took the head coaching job at Benedict. Next time I saw you was in my hometown in New Orleans. We back in Louisiana. We was at the HBCU Legacy Bowl. It was great to see you out there working with those guys and having fun. You look young. You look energetic. What was it like coaching in that All-Star game, and how big was that, or is that, for HBCU football as a whole?
I tell you what, that was awesome. Just the experience to be able to be around the best of HBCU football. To be able to get a chance for those guys to market themselves, to get an opportunity to play on Sundays, which is what they all want ultimately at the end of the day. First of all, I'm very grateful for Willie Simmons, the head football coach at FAMU, giving me an opportunity to work on his staff for the Legacy Bowl. And, he called me and said, man, I don't have an O-line coach at the time, and I want to get with the guy, that they, feel like I'm a pretty good O-line coach. So, he was able to offer me the position to be able to come and work with him and his staff for that week. And what a great experience, man. And to have an opportunity to be able to come to the great city of New Orleans, man, good food, good experiences. And they did it first class with Doug Williams and Shaq Harris, man. You're talking about a first class event. From the time we arrived, when we got to our hotel and we checked in, and they had bags, goodie bags of gear and things of that nature, to first-class experience in the hotel, first-class meals. They were able to take us to different places throughout the city of New Orleans, and then also to be able to practice at Tulane day in and day out, and then be able to culminate that with the game on that Saturday, man. I tell you what, that was an awesome deal, great experience. I think it's a great motivational piece for all staffs in HBCU football, because if you win your league, all right, you have an opportunity to go coach and spend a week in New Orleans. What a great time we had in New Orleans, Louisiana.
And you get to also see your guys get to these games. So that's added motivation. Not only can you make all-conference, all-American, hey, you could even earn a trip to this all-star game where coaches and scouts from all across the NFL and the different leagues going to be there. You talked about, you might be the O-line guy. You are the O-line guy. What is it about that position that you have been able to get the most out of the player? Because if you look around the NFL, if you look around these developmental leagues or these other leagues like USFL, XFL, everyone talks about there's an O-line shortage. But you got to be able to work with what you have and develop that into what they see as a pro lineman. You've been able to do that everywhere you've been. What's been the secret?
I tell you what, man, I'm going to first answer the first question. When you just talked about having an opportunity for your players to feel like they have a chance to go compete in the Legacy Bowl. And as soon as I got back, man, and I started talking to our guys in the team meeting. I can see you there. I can see you there. Now we got to put a good film together to be able to get you there and get you seen in front of 32 NFL scouts. What an awesome deal. But when you're talking about development offensive linemen, it's about getting those guys to believe. That's half the battle with development offensive linemen, man. You have to train them to make uncomfortable comfortable. Those are big guys. They're not used to bending, and they're not used to doing things of that nature. But you got to get those young men to believe, man, and trust the process. Fall in love with the process of being great. You may not come in day one as an All-American, but if you trust the process and fall in love with the little details, I'm a detail guy. I hold them accountable to doing the little things right, whether it's hat placement, whether it's fit, whether it's finish, whether it's all those things that it takes to be a physical, aggressive offensive lineman. You got to get them to believe, and you got to get them to fall in love with being one. It's 5 offensive linemen, but at Southern University, we call ourselves the nickel. That's 5 as one. 5 pennies, I can spread it on the table. It's all individuals, but I put that one nickel together, all right? That one nickel as one. It's nothing more proud to see 5 guys come as one, and just being able to get those guys to believe, man, I tell you what, that's a special thing, man. And if you're good up front with the offensive line, you got a chance to be real good. And I'm talking about from Little League football to the NFL. And if you're bad up front, you're not going to be a very good football team. Absolutely.
You just laid out why you're the O-line guy, but obviously an O-line guy needs an O-line guy. So how did you go about selecting your O-line coach to help, continue to drive that mission home for you?
Coach Roscoe Bird. Oh, man, I tell you what, I'm super excited about Coach Roscoe Bird, man. He is a young man that came to us from Savannah State. And when I looked at Savannah State and how they ran the football, they rushed for like 2,600 yards in 10 games. That's like 260 yards a game. So he was high on my radar. I've been watching him for a long time. He played at Georgia Southern. He's from Albany, Georgia. And when I interviewed him for the position, man, I just got super excited about his drills and his passion. And because, again, being an O-line coach and working for a guy with O-line background, you want to make sure you have the right guy. And again, I tell him he's the O-line coach. I'm just there as a resource. If you need me, I'm right here for you, because it's most situations I've seen or prepared for, and I just want to develop him, man. I think he's got a bright future. He's in his late 20s, man, and he's got a really, really bright future. Great young man, first of all. His character is second to none. And I'm super excited about Roscoe Bird and him coming into our program, and hopefully he can continue to build on what he was doing at Savannah State and running that football, and we're able to do some of those same things here at Benedict College.
Coach, we obviously we're going toward the 2022 regular season, but when you think about the first HBCU player drafted in the NFL draft, he came from a Division II program out there at Fayetteville, and we've seen teams have success in the playoffs. Division II HBCU programs more so than the HBCU programs at the Division I level. Now, it's not a knock. I'm saying this to say D2 football at the HBCU level, or HBCU D2 football, has been elevated. What is your opinion on the state of D2 football around the HBCUs? Because we've seen great coaches and great players the last couple of seasons.
Tell you what, I think that HBCU football on the Division II level is on solid ground. Just to see the young men compete day in and day out. It's some young men that we have here at Benedict that I've watched in this conference at the different schools we played against. Could have definitely played and started for us at schools that I coached at in the MEAC as well as in the SWAC. And just to be able to see the great things that Damon Wilson did at Bowie State, and he was able to move on and get him an FCS job at Morgan State now. Just to see the great things that Coach G did down at Albany State this past season, man. I think that D2 football is really rocking and rolling, man. There's some really talented young men that are hungry. You know, those young men might not get a chance to play Division I. Maybe some of the SWAC schools, the MEAC schools didn't recruit them. The OVC schools didn't recruit them. So they have a chip on their shoulder, and they want to prove that they're worthy and they're just as good as some of those other young men. Ultimately, at the end of the day, like I tell them, whether it's here, the SWAC, the MEAC, football is football. Okay, it's 11 guys to go out there and execute. You have to do your job. And what you put on film is how you're going to be evaluated. It's a saying in the front of our team meeting room. You are what you put on film, okay, at the end of the day. All right? You're going to get an opportunity to put what you have to showcase in your talent levels and put it on film, and it's up to you what you do. All right? There's 60 snaps, 70 snaps, 80 snaps in the game. You have to put good film out there, and it's some really good football in this division, on this Division II level, man, and I'm super excited about the solid ground, the Division II HBCUs, where we stand right now in terms of the landscape of college football.
When you talk about, you brought up Albany State, another team that, is a problem to deal with in the playoffs or whatnot. You talk about how Miles College was last year, just a tough team just to deal with because they could run the football, whatnot. Tuskegee's name is always ringing tried and true. Shamar Bridges was a kid at Fort Valley State that ends up now with the Baltimore Ravens. When you look at this SIAC across the board, top to bottom, how good is it?
It starts with the coaching, man. I think they're, coming into this league, this was my first year. I'm really, really excited about the coaches in this league. There's some really good football coaches. I mean, Coach Freeman's been doing it year in and year out down at Morehouse. Coach G's doing a good job at Albany State, man. And, now we got some new blood coming into the league, man, with a new head coach at Fort Valley State. He came from North Carolina A&T, traditionally good program, so I think they'll be on solid ground, okay? And then you have just a new coach coming down to Savannah State. He was at Howard University last year, so they have a new blood there. But just looking at the overall conference, man, I was really, really impressed coming in. There's some really good coaching, and there's some really talented student athletes, man. These guys can play, and I've been really, really impressed from top to bottom in this league in terms of the SIAC, and I think the SIAC has a bright, bright future.
The head coach is the one that bears the brunt of the program. When you guys win, it's good. When you lose, everybody wants you out of here, right? But you can't do the job without guys around you. Just like a football team, the coaching staff is integral to success of a football program. You've put together a fantastic staff. How good have those guys been to what you guys were able to do in year one and now going into year two?
But continuity is huge. And we're fortunate to have all the coordinators return that was part of our staff before. And, we're talking about recruiting, retention, and graduation of student athletes. That's extremely important, right? But also recruiting the right coach, retaining the right coach, and helping him progress and grow as a coach. It's just as big as the student athlete. And I'm fortunate to have some really, really good young coaches, man, that are excited to be here. They love Benedict. We put the BC and HBCU, and they really enjoy being here. My defensive coordinator, Coach O'Daffer, he's doing an amazing job with our defense. I think our defense got a chance to be really, really, really special this upcoming season. I really do. I think we're good on all three levels, and he's doing a good job of coordinating our defense. Our special teams coordinator, our safety coach, Kevin King. This is a young man, I smile every time I talk about him because he was a young man that I coached at Southern University. And he went on to the graduate assistant role at Southern University, and I watched him leave that program and go coach at other institutions here and there. And to be able to, I became the head coach here, come with me in the very first year and still be here with me and be able to sustain him and watch him grow as a coach. He is an amazing, talented coach. He's like I say, he's our safety coach and our special team coordinator. He has amazing relationships with our players. And it starts with those guys. And then ultimately I was able to hire a quarterback coach and a co-offensive coordinator named Kevin Saxton. He's doing an awesome job helping bring some different ideas to what we're already doing offensively at the places he's been. And I've been able to hire a really, really good defensive line coach, man. I tell you what, Coach Howard came from Alabama State. He has the enthusiasm, and just to watch our defensive line really grow and excel this spring. And not many teams in the country, you can say that the defensive line led our team in team GPA. They had a 3.27 GPA on the defensive line. So he's got those guys believing not only on the field, but off the field as well. So I'm super excited about all our coaches. And I have my receiver coach with me. He was my GA at Southern University. His name is Connor Loper. He's doing some awesome things, bringing some ideas on not only the stuff that we did when I was there. The next step came in when I left. He was finishing up his master's in business administration, and he's bringing some awesome ideas. And my tight end coach, Coach Tristan, he's doing an awesome job really developing our tight ends. And my running back coach, I just got him. His name is Reginald Baker. He was at Bethel University last year, and I tell you what, he's bringing some great ideas. He's also our graduate assistant. He'll be in our master's of sports management program, getting his master's degree. And then on defense, our corners coach, man, Coach Stiles, he was the defensive coordinator at a school called Hocking. It's a junior college, and he's bringing awesome ideas at the corner position, man, and he's got those guys playing at a high level. So I'm super excited about our whole staff. Those guys are doing an amazing job, and first of all, pouring into the lives of our young men, because it's bigger than football. With mental health going on, man, you can't just have a staff of 4 or 5 guys. Every position deserves a coach. And I'm fortunate to be creative with our budget and things of that nature to make sure that every coach, every player on our team has a coach, because it's bigger. We don't just start team meetings and position meetings just talking about football. We talk about life. We have them pick up the phone, call mom, man, tell your mama you love her. Mm-hmm. All those things are important. These guys go through so much on a day-to-day basis. We're not only raising football players, we're raising men. That's one thing that's guaranteed about this game of football. It's going to end one day. And they're going to be fathers, they're going to be husbands, they're going to be leaders in this community, and we got to make sure that we have the right coaches that are pouring into these young men every day that want to be here at Benedict. You got to want to be here. And these young men that I have assembled as far as my staff, they want to be at Benedict, and they're doing an amazing job coaching our young men day in and day out, building men.
Well, people talk about development of the players, but you kind of have to develop coaches. How you been able to take on that role and kind of develop the coaches as you're working on developing the players?
You know what, man? Listen, I tell my coaches all the time, you come to Benedict, if you decide whether you have other options, and you come to Benedict and you be with me at least 2 years, you're going to become a better football coach. There's no doubt in my mind. I have staff development. We take them all over the country to visit different staffs. But not only do we do that, we make them do staff development here, PowerPoints. If we have mock interviews and things of that nature, because I want to develop coaches. A lot of times people don't want to develop coaches. I learned that in my first year here as a head football coach, that you have to coach the coaches just as much as you have to coach the players. You want to make sure that you have the coaches on the same page, the same sentence, the same line, the same letter. All right? And our young men, our coaches have really bought into that. But developing coaches is extremely important to me, because at the end of the day, these coaches are our future. And I want to put these guys in position to one day they have their own program. And I want to make sure that when they leave this program, they get better. I don't want guys that when they go out and blossom out to other places, because eventually they're going to leave Benedict, ultimately at the end of the day. I want to know that the time that they had here, they got better each and every day, and that's what I feel wholeheartedly about. I don't want to just use them for the time they're here. I want to help them and develop them, become better coaches, better fathers, better men.
When you look at where we are now in terms of Benedict being, on the come up, great stadium, great facilities, how great of a time is it right now, in your opinion, to be a Benedict Tiger?
It is a great time to be a Tiger. I say that all the time. I'm very grateful and humble to be the head football coach here. I was given an opportunity, after 26 years of being an assistant coach, and I don't take this job lightly. I feel like bloom where you plant it. I want to be the best I can be at Benedict College. I don't worry about the next spot. I want to make this a premier job in the land, and I think it's coming to the place where it is that now, where people want, it's a destination job, all right? Not just a job where people want to hop around. This is a place where we can win consistently, year in and year out. There's great talent in the state of South Carolina. We're going to pour into, with our gas tank philosophy, every high school in this state. We're going to build relationships from the low country to all the way up in Greenville to the PD region to all over the state, because there's really good football in this state. And then once we put a fence around the state of South Carolina, we feel like wholeheartedly that we can be the top of HBCU football, especially on the Division II level, year in and year out, because we're not only building a good football team, we're building a good football program that can sustain year in and year out.
Coach, listen, I've learned so much from you and also about this program, and it's been fun to see you just take the reins and take the bull by the horns, take the coaching, and do a great job everywhere you've planted your feet, man. I'm excited about this program, not only for this season, but moving forward, and excited for you as well. Thank you again for taking time.
Thank you for having me, man, and I'm super excited, man, and congratulations, man, on what you're doing in marketing HBCUs and marketing college football in general. We just thank you for what you do. Go Tigers.